Yo, we back. We back, y'all. We back. I know it's been a minute. But as y'all can already see, we back with the Chicago Bears. And when it comes to this team, what you need to do is see that they got the future of the franchise, in my opinion, at quarterback. Justin Fields, this monster at quarterback, can do everything. He's the perfect modern day quarterback right now. Run, throw, arm strength, size, speed. This man here. So that's why we're going to throw that X factor on him. Got to. And then better yet, Taylor Jenkins was taken in the second round. He will also go up to star. As we move up those first couple picks, move up that development trait. Go ahead and move him to star. So now, when we look at this team, Justin Fields at the quarterback position, monster. Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney. We're going to move him up on the roster. We need to fix the right side of this offensive line. Jimmy Graham is also not going to be our starting tight end. We need to find somebody better than him. The next, linebacking core. Trenathan, Robert Quinn. Gotta go. Raekwon Smith, perfect. Khalil Mack, perfect. Our corners are not bad, but Trufant is getting older and will regress. He's going to go. Eddie Jackson, money. Brian Nichols. But we have another D tackle on this team, don't we? I'm pretty sure Eddie Goldman's on this team, if I'm not. I don't think I'm tripping. No, he's right there. So, okay. With that being said, let me go ahead and make the best lineup. And then see, there goes Eddie Goldman. So Brian Nichols is probably going to get up out of here, even at 23 years old. Eddie Goldman's only 26. So he's going to get up out of here to trade back. Desmond Trufant, I told you, is out of here. But this is the team. Main things we need to do. Number one receiver. Even though I love Allen Robinson, I want another number one receiver who can be perfect with him. Darnell Mooney at the 3 will be perfect. We need to get the right side of the offensive line. We need a starting tight end, because I don't think Jimmy Graham is that anymore. Defense, great right end we need to help rush with Hakeem Hicks. And these two linebackers, the outside and the second inside, need to be better. We also need a strong safety and a corner. So I'm going to go try to make these things happen. And then y'all see the results. First, Desmond Trufant. The first round pick in 2 years and a third round pick in 2 years will land us Minkah Fitzpatrick, starting safety on the other side of Eddie Jackson. We got the best ball hawking safety duo in the last 10 years, if you ask me. Oh my goodness, that's a perfect way to start the trades. Perfect. Next, Brian Nichols, a third round pick this year and a second round pick in 2 years, is going to bring in Brian Burns to the team. He is going to play the outside linebacker. Bye-bye Robert Quinn. And now, him and Khalil Mack are a dynamic duo. Next, everything's just going through for me right now. Bye-bye David Montgomery, a second round pick this year and a fourth round pick in 2 years, brings in Saquon Barkley in the backfield with my boy Justin Fields. Big Ten backfield, let's get it rolling. Next, we're going to bring in a starting caliber corner and Byron Murphy Jr. for Damian Williams. Tariq Cohen is our starting back now. We'll have to pick up somebody in. Wait, what am I talking about? Saquon Barkley is our starting back with Tariq Cohen backing him up. So Damian Williams can leave. Byron Murphy Jr. will be a great addition to the defensive backfield. Next, we trade Tashawn Gibson Sr. and a 5th round pick and a 6th round pick for this year for Jawan James. Now, as we look at the team, we made some upgrades at a couple positions, no doubt. Jawan James comes in, slides in right at right tackle. We're going to move him actually inside the right guard because Mitchell Schwartz sits in free agency. We're going to pick him up to play right tackle for us. Jawan James signed in as a 79 overall, perfect. We didn't get another tight end Unfortunately, we're going to have to find one in free agency after this season. But Darnell Mooney, he will be playing the slot and outside receiver. We need to get him as many yards as possible. Saquon Barkley and Tariq Cohen, an electrifying backfield. Defensively, let me go ahead and fix something for y'all right now. Mika Fitzpatrick, you can pretty much play him anywhere. So we're going to move him to strong safety. Great he's just such a good DB when it comes to finding the ball. One of those guys you can count for at least 3 to 4 interceptions a year. Great defensive back to add to the team. So him and Eddie Jackson will be perfect. Next, I think y'all also might have forgot, we do got Brian Burns. So we're going to move him up to the right linebacker. I believe that's the spot that he needs to be in. Brian Burns, Spider as they call him, will play right here on the other side of Khalil Mack. Gotta love that for this team. Brian Burns, he's ridiculous. Him and Khalil Mack. Mario Edwards is going to have to leave. He's not going to be right there. I promise you that. Cornerback, we're fine. I'm going to probably have to bring in one more guy. We need to bring in somebody at end and somebody at middle linebacker. Even though Danny Trenathan could probably play there for a year. So I'm going to go see what's in free agency, what's cooking up there before I submit this team for the season. Richard Schwartz, come on in, play right tackle. Melvin Ingram would actually be perfect for what we need this year. We're going to bring him in, and he will slot in perfectly at right end at that interior spot. Sheldon Richardson, always like to bring him in as a backup D tackle. And Brian Poole or Stevie Nelson. I'm going to bring in Brian Poole. Good corner. He can play that third spot for us. Pretty sure they let me sign him, yeah. Anybody else that jumps out that's in free agency? Trey Burton at tight end might be interesting. Doesn't he have star development? Yeah. We're going to bring in Burton as well because we need tight end help. Jimmy Graham is not our guy at that spot. Yeah, so we're going to bring in him. Let me see what else. I'm going to just let Danny Trenathan rock for right now. Trey Turner. No, we don't need Trey Turner. We already moved that offensive lineman inside. We don't need him. We're going to bring in Adrian Peterson just in case, we win a Super Bowl or something. I want to get him one. Other than that, though, I think we're going to rock with the team the way it is. Defensively, we are stacked. We're talking about look at the squad. We're going to actually move Jalen Johnson outside and put Brian Poole in the slot. Byron Murphy's fine. Don't have any problems with the defense. Stacked. Offensively, we're not the best. Obviously, we could be better, but I like where we're at right now. Cole Kmet is not going to be right there. There's just no way. Can't be playing fullback. We need him to get them points. Move Cole Kmet up to the second tight end. So right now, the team looks good. Like what I'm seeing. Okay, good offensive line. The defense will probably lead us this year. I'm also going to change the playbook. Let me see here. What do we fit the most? Right now, what we fit the most is the vertical zone run. We're going to run this. Actually, we're going to run the Tennessee offense because I want Saquon to run the ball more this first year. We don't really have the receiving weapons for Justin Fields just yet. Defensively, we're going to run New England. I love that New England look, especially because we're running that 3-4 and the 3-4 disguise is what's going to be the defensive scheme. So let's go ahead and take it to the mid-season mark. I'll see you guys there. And we just lost 34-16 to the Saints. Oh my gosh. And we're 3-5. Things are not going that great right now. Let me look at the stats. Justin Fields is stinking up the joint. 1,700 yards, 12 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Are you kidding me? Saquon's 428. Over 4 yards of carrying, 3 touchdowns isn't terrible. Receiving wise, Darnell Mooney is the guy. 555 yards, 9 touchdowns. I guess Justin Fields really doesn't like Allen Robinson since he came from Penn State to rival school, so he's not getting the ball. Trey Burton's also having a pretty good year. 431, 2 touchdowns. Defensively, Khalil Mack, Hakeem Hicks. Those are the guys. 7.5 sacks, 7.5 sacks. Brian Burns has 2, 8 tackles for loss. The defense is getting after it, though. 1 pick, what I tell you about Minka. 1 pick from Raekwon, 1 pick from Minka, 1 pick from Byron Murphy Jr., Eddie Jackson, Tease Tabor. I don't know how he's getting time. And Marquise Christian. The interceptions are all over the place. A lot of forced fumbles, and we recovered a good amount of them, too. And we have a touchdown, and guess what it was? Minka Fitzpatrick. I'm not surprised. I'm really not, though. So, let me check where we rank offensively. 20th. Yeah, with those numbers, I'm not surprised. Defensively, 23rd. Wow, man. I thought this team would be better. We're going to go ahead and get to the playoffs if we make it. Let me see, man. And we make the playoffs. Oh, man. We came out of despair. Justin Fields' second half was impressive. 3,900 yards, almost 4,000 yards, 33 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. His numbers jumped tremendously the second half of the season. Saquon, 942 and 7 touchdowns, but that's because it looks like Tarico ain't got more carries. But Saquon, still a good year. Coming off the ACL injury. Darnell Mooney, 1,200 yards, 16 touchdowns. That is the man. And he finally started throwing the ball to Allen Robinson. Oh my gosh. Defensively, Khalil Mack was the man. 13.5 sacks, 15 tackles for loss, an interception. He did it all. Hakeem Hicks stepped up. So did the rest. We got a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Let me go ahead and look at the forced fumbles. Oh my gosh. A lot of forced fumbles. We had some already. A lot of fumble recoveries we got. 2 touchdowns. Both safeties, Minka and Eddie Jackson. Who led the team in interceptions? Byron Murphy Jr., Eddie Jackson, and Minka. I mean, the defense was hype. Still only 20th in offense, so that's no fun. But 12th in defense, we jumped up there. So as everybody knows, this first season, we're not even going to play it. We're just going to sim it. Unless we get to the conference championship, I'll jump in. And we're sent home by the Bucs round 1. Oh boy, just get me to the Super Bowl. The interesting thing is Darnell Mooney might have superstar. That's what we're hoping for. And he does. Yes, sir. Okay. Now looking at this team, I see some things. First, I'm gonna go to awards. We'll see who won. Let me see here. Yearly awards, Cam Newton, MVP. 13-3 Patriots. They're back at it again. NFC, Russell Wilson was the Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, Bobby Wagner. Khalil Mack was 4th. Offensive Rookie of the Year, shout out Justin Fields. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we didn't have one. Best quarterback, Tom Brady. Justin Fields at 7th. Best running back, Aaron Jones. And I don't see Saquon Barkley on that list. Best receiver, Darnell Mooney. My man. Best offensive lineman, we didn't have one. Best defensive lineman, didn't have one. Best linebacker, we didn't have one? Raekwon Smith's way down there. Best DB, we didn't have one. We gotta flip this team from a 0 to a hero just a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and get to the re-sign period. There's probably some guys I want to bring back. Let me just go ahead and check. Darnell Mooney should still be superstar. He is. Everybody still looks good. We had no development trait upgrade. Oh, yes, we did. Byron Murphy Jr. is a superstar. Okay, that helps a lot. Okay, so this defensive. Oh my gosh, our DBs are looking nice. Okay, now the question is, do we keep Melvin Ingram? That's going to be a question we have to answer. To be honest, if he doesn't want much money, we're probably going to keep him. Allen Robinson, got to bring him back. Love me some A-Rob. We got to bring him back. Got him. Rest of these guys, let me look through. Mitchell Schwartz, we need back. I'm gonna up that money for him a little bit. And Mitchell Schwartz isn't interested. Yeah, he's gotta walk. Brian Poole can walk. Sheldon Richardson can walk. Trey Burton can walk. Melvin Ingram is the interesting one. $31.5 million. 2 years. That's a lot of money. I can't do it. Brian Poole at that price, you're not going to beat it. Bring in Brian Poole, and he's not interested. Wow. Sheldon Richardson at that price is another guy. You're just not going to beat it. Bring back Sheldon Richardson, and he's not interested either. Trey Burton, he had a good year and could still play tight end for us. I'm going to try to bring him back. Okay, and we keep Trey Burton as the only guy we keep. So we're going to really have to rebuild this team back. Let's go to day one of free agency and see what we can do. Okay, Melvin Ingram is at the top and nobody's offering him. I'm going to offer him a generous contract. Not too generous, but generous enough to see if he'll accept. And we can get him for the cheap, because that would be a big pickup for us. Now, Brian Poole is another guy. If we can get him for the cheap as well, I'm going to offer him a nice low deal. Those are two guys that we signed. We'd be in great positions. Zach Ertz, another guy. Low money. We're just going to slide right in and try to pick him up as well. Let's go ahead and get to week 2 of free agency and see maybe if we made a move or two. Nobody signed, which means, as I'm going to put it in the draft class right here, that's not good. I'm going to just be honest with you guys. That is not good at all. If nobody signed, that means they're probably going to have more offers. Unless teams just don't have money. As Madden's always giving me tips. Trust me, Madden. We know. Sam Howell, monster. You go ahead, as he's an early first rounder. We're not giving up on Justin, though. He just won the Offensive Rookie of the Year. We can't give up on him. But the question is, did these guys get offered? Melvin Ingram, yep. Brian Poole, no. And Zach Ertz, no. Okay, that's good. So while we don't have an end, which is something we kind of need, obviously, we do have the other positions on lock. Okay. With that being said, how do I want to do this? We're just not going to have enough money to offer him. We need another middle linebacker. That might be where this money goes. But there's not nobody I like. There's nobody I like, actually. We need another D tackle. Jerron Reed is here for nothing. We're going to sign him to a 2-year deal. Yes, I like that pickup. Nobody offered on our guys, so we might be good to get a sweep here. And we do. We get the sweep. Perfect. Okay. So, Jerron Reed, bang. Eddie Goldman, Hakeem Hicks. I still love the defense. Need a middle and need a right end. Corner, we're set. Safety, we're set. Outside guys, we're set. And Raekwon Smith is our starting guy. Tight end. I love our tight ends right now. I have no problem with them. We need a right tackle since we lost Mitchell Schwartz, and we need another receiver. I believe we still have the first round pick. So I'm going to take, this has got to be Saquon, and probably Raekwon Smith is the other guy on this list, right? I'm sure they're going to probably pop it right back up. Yeah. Raekwon Smith is the other guy on this list. We're going to sign the extensions for both because they're essential to the team. Now let me see. Free agency. I don't want to sign anybody else. Let's go ahead and get to the draft. So, I'm not going to look at the free agency recap. We probably have a decent pick. 19 isn't bad. Let's go ahead and get to it. Make a selection here. Let me see. Justin Ross is high on my board. I'd be lying if I said he's not. Justin Ross is very high. 6'4", great speed, could be our third receiver. And yeah, that's what we're going with. Justin Ross. I mean, look at these numbers. He's an elite receiver at Clemson. They didn't have him last year, which I think hurt them down the stretch. Somebody who can stretch the field, has the size, catches every ball, dominated Alabama in the championship game. So we add him to this offense. Now, what we need is end. And the question is, shall I go out for an elite end or just somebody who can help the team? Let me see here. As I feel like we ain't got to look at the draft recap. We're just going to get right in the next season. Darnell Mooney, new ability unlocked. So Justin Fields as well. Let me show y'all the team before I start making any more moves. Justin Ross is going to move up. He will be our slot guy because we need to get him those numbers. He'll be our slot guy. Darnell Mooney. What is this? Oh, he got route technician off the bat. Okay, I like that. Fullback. I'm going to just sign one. I hate when they put the tight end at fullback. I really don't like that. Let me see if I can sign a fullback. And we can. We got a little cap room. Burton will come in and play fullback. So our tight ends don't have to. They should never play fullback. There you go. We need a right tackle. That's going to be first on the list. Or maybe not first. Middle linebacker will probably be first. Or end. So I'm going to go try to get those positions of need. And then I'll see y'all in a minute. First thing we do. Second round pick in 2 years for D-tackle Ed Oliver. Now Ed Oliver's athletic enough to play that inside right end spot. So that's where he'll be playing. A third, a fourth, and a fifth round pick go to the Chargers. And so for those are in 2 years. For Kenneth Murray Jr. to come in and play our other middle linebacker spot. Now it's time to go get that tackle. And look at that. We complete the trifecta. First round pick in 2 years gets us Orlando Brown from the Kansas City Chiefs. They just got him this year. Surprised they let him go so quickly. So we're going to move Orlando Brown over to right tackle. The young stud, they call him Zeus. He's going to go over there and help us out. So offensive line is solidified. We got tight end solidified. Our receivers, monsters. And I'm going to make sure Justin Ross is starting that slot. Love what I'm seeing. They got this perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and generate best lineup. Go ahead and move Justin Ross back to slot. Defensively, Raekwon Smith, Kenneth Murray Jr. Great. Outside guys, perfect. I almost forgot. Ed Oliver, move him to the inside end spot in this 3-4 defense. Let me go ahead and move him right there. Athletic enough to play the spot, definitely. There you go. Trifecta in the middle with Jerron Reed backing up. The corners, exactly where they should be. Eddie Jackson, Mika Fitzpatrick. Boy, oh boy, I think this is our year. If I had to say, I think this is our year. Now, I'm going to do something that I usually don't do. I'm going to change the scheme one more time. Sometimes I do it. We're going to switch it to the Jets. And we are switching it to the Jets because I've told you guys before. The New York Jets offense, somehow Zach Wilson always ends up in the top in numbers. We're going to let the Jets be our offense. We're going to keep our scheme. Everything else is perfect. Let's go ahead, get to the mid-season mark. I'll see you guys there. Justin Fields, it's time to dominate. And we just lost to the Vikings 28-23. I don't care what you're talking about, Hicks. We're losing. And it's a bye week. Look at that. Okay, what's our record? 4-4. Come on, man. What's the stats look like for the season? And look what I tell you, Justin Fields balling. 1,800 yards, 16 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. We need to slow down on them interceptions. Rushing, there goes Saquon. 534, over 4.5 yards of carry and 2 touchdowns. Justin Fields is our second leading rusher. Interesting. Receiving, Darnell Mooney leading the team. Justin Ross is second. Allen Robinson. Once again, Justin Fields is not like throwing him the ball, and Zach Ertz getting a couple totes as well. sacks. Look at Ed Oliver. What I tell you. Look at Brian Burns. What I tell you. Khalil Mack. The sacks are coming. Tackles for loss, they're coming. Interceptions. Mika Fitzpatrick. 4 a season. 3 to 4 seasons. I told you, he's that guy. Raekwon Smith is getting picks as well. So is Byron Murphy, Kenneth Murray, and Jalen Johnson. Forced fumbles. Brian Poole has one. We did not recover it. No touchdowns this year so far. Let me go ahead and check what's going on. We are the number 19th offense. Disgusting. And we're the 18th defense. Disgusting. Why can't we get it going? Get to the playoffs. We gotta make the playoffs. And we don't make the playoffs. 8-8 is what we finished. What? I don't think this has ever happened. There will be no gameplay this video. There will be nothing. Nothing at all. Justin Fields, Saquon Barkley, and his unstoppable unit could not get the job done. Let me go ahead and look at the stats for the year. I am flabbergasted. 3,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, 17 interceptions for Justin Fields. Saquon Barkley over 4.5 and 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. Darnell Mooney did his thing. So did Justin Ross. Defensively, 17 sacks. The sacks were just piling up. Man, oh man, 17 for Khalil, 9.5 for Ed Oliver, 7 for Brian Burns. The defense was kicking. 4 interceptions is where Mika ended. Forced fumbles, and we started recovering some. No defensive touchdowns. We had a safety from the Mac Daddy. What? How do we lose all these games? We're gonna check yearly awards as well. I doubt we're gonna be up here in a lot of these. Russell Wilson, Raekwon Smith won Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Sam Howell. And Justin Ross got 5th. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we didn't have one. Best quarterback, Russell Wilson. Best running back, Saquon's down there at 7, but does it really matter? Best receiver. Why is Mooney nowhere to be found? Best offensive lineman. I don't even see it. Oh my God. What happened to the squad? Best linebacker, Raekwon Smith. He was the guy, I guess, this year. Mika Fitzpatrick at 4. I could care less about Jair. This is a heartbreaker. Even though we started off 4-4, I just assumed we'd make the playoffs. Send him to the Super Bowl. I'm going to check the developments, people. Oh my gosh. Is it the Seahawks and the Browns? That's a good matchup. Justin Ross was a star. 80 overall though, so he went up pretty well. Defensively, look at all. It's a rainbow down here. Ed Oliver, Mika, Raekwon, Brian Burns, Byron Murphy Jr. And we still couldn't get to at least the playoffs? Oh my gosh. It was that Jets playbook, wasn't it? I'm going to just show y'all something though. Watch this. Go to the Jets. I guarantee you. What? Still, you see what I'm saying? Why do y'all think I picked the playbook? Y'all see them Zach Wilson numbers? Y'all see them, right? 4,500 yards, 33 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. I guess Zach Wilson's just that much better than Justin Fields. What the heck is going on? Oh my gosh. But without further ado, y'all, I'm Ajax1K. I appreciate all the support. Please like, comment, subscribe if you new. And y'all already know, I'm out of here, man.